America is heading into another recession, and this time, the fallout will be brutal for retailers already hanging by a thread. For decades, these stores shaped everyday life. Weekend mall trips, holiday sales, back-to-school shopping, and the familiar comfort of walking into a store that felt permanent. But those days are fading fast. What used to be stable, reliable businesses are now fighting for survival in an economy where inflation is squeezing families, malls are ghost towns, and online shopping eats another chunk of the market every single year. Many of these chains once dominated American retail. Now they're closing stores, losing customers, and drowning in debt just to stay alive. Their business models are outdated, their foot traffic is collapsing, and the next economic downturn will hit them harder than ever before. Some chains might disappear overnight, others will limp along until they finally run out of money, shoppers, or relevance. Here are 10 retail chains that will not survive the next recession, and why their collapse is almost guaranteed. Number 10. Macy's. Macy's used to be the crown jewel of American department stores. Elegant, iconic, and woven into the culture. But today, Macy's is becoming a symbol of the retail decline. The biggest problem is brutally simple. Nobody goes to malls anymore, and Macy's cannot survive without mall traffic. Entire wings of shopping centers sit empty, and younger generations simply don't see any reason to visit a giant department store when they can order everything online in seconds. The company keeps closing stores, not because they want to optimize, but because these locations are losing money at a pace they can't hide. Foot traffic is down, operating costs are up, and the traditional department store model is dead. That's the truth Macy's can't escape. Their stores feel outdated. Cluttered racks, inconsistent pricing, and inventory that looks like it's been sitting there for months. For Gen Z and younger millennials, Macy's isn't aspirational, it's irrelevant. Even Macy's attempt to reinvent itself with smaller stores is not enough. They're shrinking because the brand is collapsing, not because the strategy is innovative. The cost of maintaining huge retail spaces is crushing them. Mall landlords raise rent, maintenance costs increase, and Macy's simply doesn't have the customers to justify the footprint. Online competition is another nail in the coffin. Amazon, Target, and even discount stores like TJ Maxx offer better deals, faster shopping, and more excitement. Macy's tries constant sales to keep people interested, but all that does is train customers to wait for discounts, destroying profit margins. The next recession will hit their core shoppers the hardest. Middle-class families already cutting back. Holiday spending, the lifeline of department stores, will drop even further. Without strong seasonal sales, Macy's has no safety net. Macy's won't disappear instantly, but its decline is now irreversible. The brand is aging out, the malls around it are dying, and the business model can't compete in the new economy. The next recession will speed up what has already begun, a slow but certain collapse. Number 9. Rite Aid. Rite Aid is already on life support, and the next recession will finish what bankruptcy started. This company has been in trouble for more than a decade, but the past few years have been catastrophic. Their stores are outdated, understaffed, and located in areas with declining foot traffic. Many customers walk into a Rite Aid and find half-empty shelves, long lines, and a depressing atmosphere that screams, "Closing soon." The biggest blow came when Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy, a sign that their financial problems are far deeper than temporary setbacks. The company is closing hundreds of stores, selling off assets, and trying to survive by shrinking. But shrinking isn't a strategy, it's a slow death. Competition is destroying them from every angle. Walmart offers cheaper prescriptions. Amazon delivers medications to your door. CVS and Walgreens dominate with modern, convenient, fully integrated pharmacies. Rite Aid simply cannot match the scale, technology, or trust of its competitors. Add in the rise of retail theft, which has hit drugstores especially hard. Shrink is out of control in many locations, wiping out already tiny profit margins. When stores lose money, Rite Aid shutters them. And each closure pushes customers to competitors permanently. Inflation makes the situation even worse. When people struggle financially, they stop buying non-essential items like cosmetics, snacks, and small household goods, categories Rite Aid relies on heavily. A recession will crush these impulse purchases completely. Rite Aid isn't just weak, it's collapsing. Bankruptcy didn't save them, store closures didn't save them, cost-cutting didn't save them. The truth is simple, the business model is outdated, the competition is overwhelming, and customers have already moved on. The next recession won't be their challenge, it will be their final chapter. Number 8. Bed Bath & Beyond, Bye Bye Baby. Bed Bath & Beyond was once the king of home goods, a one-stop destination for everything from towels to kitchen gadgets. Bye Bye Baby, its specialized spin-off, captured parents looking for cribs, strollers, and baby gear. But today, both brands are struggling to stay relevant. Bed Bath & Beyond even filed for bankruptcy, closing hundreds of stores, and the pieces that remain are weak shadows of their former selves. The trust consumers once had in these retailers is gone. The problems are multi-layered. Big box competition from Target, Walmart, and Amazon has crushed them. Online shopping dominates, and digital giants offer faster delivery, better prices, and more convenient shopping experiences. While Bed Bath & Beyond tried to reinvent itself with coupons and flash sales, the strategy only highlighted its desperation. Customers have learned to expect discount codes rather than full-price shopping, eroding profitability further. Bye Bye Baby faced a similar fate. Parents increasingly buy baby products online, comparing prices across multiple websites and skipping the middleman entirely. Brick-and-mortar overheads, rent, staffing, and utilities make it nearly impossible for these stores to maintain competitive pricing. Couple that with declining birth rates and rising costs of raising children, and the target demographic simply shrinks every year. The next recession will hit these chains particularly hard. Customers will cut non-essential spending, leaving both Bed Bath & Beyond and Bye Bye Baby without their remaining lifeline. Without deep restructuring or a complete pivot to e-commerce, these chains are unlikely to survive the economic storm ahead. Their collapse is less a question of if and more a question of when. 7. GameStop. GameStop is a classic example of a retailer trapped in a dying market. Once a paradise for gamers seeking the latest console, exclusive titles, and collectible editions, GameStop now faces a reality that is almost impossible to overcome. The physical gaming market is shrinking rapidly. Most games are now downloaded digitally, cutting out the need for a store visit entirely. GameStop's entire model, built on selling discs and console accessories, is slowly evaporating. The meme stock hype temporarily brought attention, but it didn't solve the underlying issues. Investors' excitement and short-term trading gains don't replace empty stores or declining revenue. Customers may talk about it online, but the number of people physically stepping into GameStop locations continues to drop. Long lines for pre-orders are replaced by empty aisles and outdated inventory. Competition from online marketplaces like Amazon, Walmart, and even direct from console services, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, has devastated GameStop's core business. Digital marketplaces provide convenience, better pricing, and immediate delivery, while GameStop charges premiums for physical copies and late releases. Exclusive promotions aren't enough to lure a customer base that has moved entirely online. Physical overheads remain a massive burden. Rent for large retail spaces, staffing, and utilities add costs that digital-only competitors simply don't face. During economic downturns, consumers prioritize essential purchases, leaving non-essential items like video games at the bottom of their shopping list. That makes GameStop extremely vulnerable to recessionary pressures. Even efforts to pivot, selling collectibles, gaming accessories, or NFTs have failed to build consistent revenue streams. The brand remains tied to a fading retail model. When the next recession hits, the combination of shrinking customer demand, high operational costs, and obsolete business practices will likely push GameStop closer to the edge of collapse. Number 6. Big Lots. Big Lots, once a go-to for discounted furniture, household items, and seasonal goods, is showing clear signs of strain. The model based on cheap inventory and bargain-hunting customers is failing. Inflation has pushed the cost of goods higher, making discount less appealing, while customers face real financial strain in their everyday lives. That means Big Lots' biggest selling point, affordability, is being eroded just as the economy tightens. Financial troubles plague the company. Earnings have been weak for years, store closures are accelerating, and foot traffic is declining. Unlike Walmart or Target, Big Lots lacks brand loyalty or a clear identity. Consumers may browse once, but they rarely return consistently. Without dedicated shoppers, every economic downturn becomes catastrophic. The stores themselves feel outdated and uninspired. Interiors are cluttered, layouts confusing, and product selections often inconsistent. In an age where e-commerce offers curated, fast, and cheap alternatives, Big Lots can't compete. Online marketplaces allow people to find exactly what they need without stepping into a store full of unwanted inventory. Competition is another crushing factor. Dollar stores, Amazon, and other discount retailers have stolen Big Lots' market share. Even the rise of resale and thrift shopping threatens its core demographic. Millennials and Gen Z consumers prefer convenience, choice, and digital access, all areas where Big Lots falls short. The next recession will be especially brutal. Consumers cutting back will skip non-essential purchases, undercutting Big Lots' already thin margins. Store closures will continue, foot traffic will drop further, and the brand will face the harsh reality. Without reinvention or aggressive digital expansion, survival is unlikely. Big Lots' model, once a staple for bargain shoppers, now teeters on the edge of irrelevance. Number 5.
Kohl's.
Kohl's, a once trusted department store chain, is struggling to define itself in a crowded retail landscape. Department stores as a whole are dying. Customers no longer view Kohl's as a must-visit destination. Instead, they see it as a fading relic of shopping malls past. Loss of identity is a significant issue. Kohl's is neither a high-fashion destination nor a bargain discount chain that dominates the market. This leaves it in a dangerous middle ground. Younger generations simply aren't shopping here. Millennials and Gen Z customers prefer fast, online, and personalized options over sprawling brick-and-mortar stores with inconsistent inventory. Prices often don't match perceived quality, making shoppers question the value of a Kohl's purchase. Even their loyalty programs, which once drove repeat business, are less effective in the digital-first economy. Weak earnings over the past years highlight that Kohl's is struggling to compete. Competition from Amazon, Target, Walmart, and niche online retailers is relentless. Kohl's physical stores carry heavy overhead costs, which combined with declining foot traffic erode profitability. Special promotions and seasonal discounts only serve to highlight desperation rather than sustainable growth. During a recession, Kohl's vulnerability becomes even more apparent. Consumers prioritize essentials, cutting back on clothing and home goods, and e-commerce giants offer better deals and convenience. Unless Kohl's undergoes a significant transformation or digital pivot, it risks further erosion of market share and store closures. The next economic downturn may be the final test of its resilience. Number 4. The Children's Place. The Children's Place, a retailer focused on children's clothing, is increasingly irrelevant in today's market. Parents are migrating to Amazon, Walmart, and Target for convenience, price, and selection. Physical store visits have declined, leaving many locations underutilized. Bankruptcy risk is real. Inflation and rising operational costs are taking their toll. Clothing inflation has hit hard. Families are paying more for less, and smaller, traditional retailers like the Children's Place struggle to compete. Online shopping provides faster, often cheaper options. Stores are closing at an accelerating pace. Once popular mall locations now stand empty or are repurposed, contributing to the retail apocalypse that continues to hit mid-tier stores. Seasonal promotions and loyalty programs cannot make up for the larger structural issues: declining foot traffic, rising rents, and the shift in consumer behavior toward digital-first retail. A recession will intensify these pressures. Parents will cut discretionary spending, leaving less revenue for clothing stores. Without a digital-first approach, the children's place may struggle to survive the next economic storm. Number 3. Party City. Party City, once the go-to for seasonal decorations, costumes, and party supplies, is in decline. Bankruptcy looms after years of weak sales, seasonal volatility, and stiff competition from dollar stores and online retailers. Younger generations, increasingly minimalistic and digitally oriented, no longer buy party supplies in the same quantities. Seasonal business makes Party City especially vulnerable. Halloween, birthdays, and holidays were once profitable, but the rise of online shopping combined with high operational costs has eroded margins. Physical stores require rent, staffing, and inventory management, expenses that digital competitors avoid entirely. Consumer behavior is shifting. Millennials and Gen Z spend less on traditional celebrations and more on experiences or online entertainment. Dollar stores, Amazon, and specialty online stores offer cheaper, convenient, and customizable alternatives. Party City is caught in a dying model. A recession would accelerate closures. Non-essential spending is cut first, and seasonal purchases become less frequent. Party City may be unable to sustain operations across its remaining locations without a major overhaul, digital pivot, or complete rebranding. Number 2. Office Depot and OfficeMax. Office Depot and OfficeMax face an existential crisis. The work-from-home revolution decimated office supply demand, while schools and businesses now buy online in bulk. Physical stores are increasingly obsolete. Overhead costs remain high, and foot traffic is vanishing. The rise of digital tools has further reduced need. Cloud-based productivity apps, online office supply subscriptions, and mega retailers like Amazon provide a faster, cheaper, and more convenient alternative. Customers no longer see value in stepping into brick-and-mortar locations. Recessionary pressure will hit these retailers hard. Businesses and households cut back on non-essential office purchases. For stores already struggling with relevance, the economic downturn could be fatal. Without deep digital integration or strategic restructuring, Office Depot and OfficeMax may not survive the next economic shock. Number 1. Penney. A historic pillar of American shopping malls faces its most precarious moment yet. A failed revival after bankruptcy, combined with dead malls and dwindling young shoppers, makes survival unlikely. The stores feel frozen in 1999, outdated layouts, inconsistent merchandise, and little digital integration. Foot traffic is low, and e-commerce competitors dominate. Millennials and Gen Z have little brand loyalty, preferring Amazon, fast fashion online stores, or direct-to-consumer brands. Operational costs for malls, staffing, and inventory are unsustainable, leaving JCPenney vulnerable to any economic downturn. The next recession may finish what previous struggles have started. Without aggressive reinvention, JCPenney risks becoming a relic of American retail history. The real reasons behind the retail collapse. The collapse of these retail giants is not simply a matter of bad luck. It's the culmination of multiple compounding forces reshaping American consumer culture and economics. First and foremost, online shopping dominance has completely altered how Americans spend. E-commerce platforms like Amazon, Walmart Online, and direct-to-consumer brands offer convenience, lower prices, and faster delivery. Customers no longer feel the need to visit a physical store, leaving once thriving locations eerily empty. Inflation and stagnant wages play a major role as well. Consumers are forced to prioritize essentials like groceries, rent, and utilities over discretionary spending. Even loyal customers have less disposable income, meaning luxury or specialty stores see a steep decline in sales. Another crucial factor is the shrinking middle class. The backbone of traditional retail, middle-class Americans, are fewer in number and often financially stretched. Rising housing costs, student debt, and healthcare expenses leave less room for mall visits, clothing purchases, and seasonal splurges. High rent, declining mall traffic, and abandoned locations compound the problem. Large retail chains depend heavily on physical presence, but when malls fail, rent remains high, and foot traffic declines, stores operate at a loss. Empty storefronts become magnets for crime and vandalism, further discouraging shoppers. Finally, cultural and technological shifts accelerated by the pandemic, remote work, digital convenience, and cashless transactions have permanently changed shopping habits. Stores that once thrived on impulse purchases and weekend trips to the mall no longer benefit from that traffic. In short, these retail collapses are not random. They are the predictable outcome of changing economies, consumer behavior, and corporate inertia. A recession would be the tipping point for chains already teetering, and many will not survive it. The story of these retail chains is, in many ways, the story of America itself. Once shopping malls and large department stores were central to our culture, shaping neighborhoods, weekend routines, and family life. They were symbols of aspiration, convenience, and community. The collapse is not only financial, it is emotional. For generations, these stores represented comfort, nostalgia, and reliability. Parents took their children to the children's place. Couples celebrated milestones with shopping sprees at Kohl's, and teenagers hung out at Party City. That experience is fading, leaving empty spaces, both physical and cultural. Which store will disappear next? The answer isn't just about a chain's balance sheet. It's about adaptability, relevance, and the ability to survive in a world dominated by online giants, inflation, and shifting consumer values. Some brands may reinvent themselves and thrive digitally, while others will vanish completely, joining the ranks of forgotten icons. What do you think? Which of these retail giants do you feel nostalgic about? And which do you believe will be the first to vanish? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Living Wise Global, your front row seat to the shifting landscape of American life and economy. The retail world is changing fast, and those who observe closely will see both lessons and warnings for the future.